Hello and welcome to the January 15th edition of Titan TV News. I'm Gina Blaskie.
And I'm Steve Santucci.
And welcome back to the first episode of the new semester. We're excited to be back.
Yeah, we are. Good to be back with you again, Gina. My break went by really quickly. I don't know about yours.
It flew by. It flew.
It was nice to be home, but it did fly by very quickly. I hope you guys had a great break and great week and a half of classes or so. Hopefully you're easing into the classes very smoothly. But without further ado, let's get you caught up on what's going on campus this week. All right, well, starting things out, on January the 15th, that's today, the Career Center will be hosting a program in the Welcome Center Auditorium at 4 p.m. called Internships 101. An internship may be just around the corner, so the Career Center wants you to start getting prepared now. Join the Hart Career Center for a quick internship overview. Learn what they are, where to look for them, how to apply to them, and whether you can get credit for them, and much, much more.
Sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Later in the day, at 7 p.m. in the Hanson Student Center, award-winning director, producer, and artist Esther Podemsky will introduce the screening of her 2010 documentary, The Peasant and the Priest. This is the inaugural event in a new co-curricular program initiated by International Studies and the International Film Series, with the goal each year to invite an independent filmmaker to the IWU campus for a screening of a film, followed by a question and answer session. The Peasant and the Priest takes an interdisciplinary approach to rather disparate aspects of human lived experience, ranging from economics and business to politics, history, art, and cultural difference, and also social justice, and it illustrates how they all intersect in our globalized world. This event is co-sponsored by the Student Affairs as part of its 3D programming series addressing diversity, dignity, and dialogue. More information on the film can be found in the description below.
Sounds like an interesting film.
It's really interesting that they're bringing the director too and everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool opportunity. All right, let's move on to Friday, January the 16th. We've got something called Light Therapy Table. Counselors from the Counseling and Consultation Services Office will be in the CNS Atrium from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Wednesday, January 14th, and in the Ames Library entry level on Friday the 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. to pass out info on light therapy. Research has shown that light therapy can effectively decrease the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, also known as the winter blues. Over 500,000 Americans suffer from SAD, with the most common symptoms being irritability, fatigue, sadness, and poor concentration. The Ames Library has 2 of these lights available on the 3rd floor, and 1 also available in the CCS Stress-Free Zone. So stop by this tabling event to get some info from CCS therapists on how to use these therapy lights and how light therapy may be beneficial for you during the cold winter months.
Songwriter and musician Mika Pauley is going to be bringing her skills to bear on the IWU community on Friday, January the 16th at 8 p.m. in the Hanson Student Center. Mika Pauley is described as having a voice that flows like good whiskey and has a sonic immediacy with driving, yearning melodies. As Pauley says, her songs are like the actions that I can't really take. Her most recent full-length album was released in 2012 and was entitled The Science of Making Choices. Pauley has self-released all of her work, which includes 3 other EPs and 2 full-length albums. However, she recently joined forces with Pledge Music, where her fans proved their demand for more of her music by donating far more than she requested to fund her projects. Having worked with producer Jeff Stanfield to create The Science of Making Choices, Pauley feels she's finally captured in the studio the same rawness she conjures when playing live. Pauley's career pursuits have helped her win prestigious competitions like Cosmopolitan's Fun Fearless Female Rock Star of the Year, the Starbucks Songwriter Competition, and the New York Songwriters Circle Songwriting Contest. So if you want to hear some fantastic music, come out to the Hanson Center and support this new and rising musician.
Well, on Saturday, December 17th, we've got a couple sports games coming up. Track and field have the Titan Invitational at the Shirk Indoor Track at 10 a.m. Women's basketball take on North Park University at 5 o'clock in the Shirk Center. And then right after that, the men's basketball team takes on North Park at 7 in the Shirk Center. Good luck, Titans, and I hope everybody can come out and support you.
For this year's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, this Monday, the 19th, IWU is hosting a pair of events based around the social issues that Martin Luther King Jr. campaigned against during his time. This year's theme is voting rights and social justice. All are welcome, and all discussions will be held in the Hanson Student Center. Each session will feature table discussion and dialogue with the whole entire group. This event is sponsored by the Action Research Center. The 1 p.m. panel commemorates the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It features a keynote address by Vernon Burton, a professor of humanities at Clemson University and professor emeritus of history at the University of Illinois. Professor Burton will speak on the Voting Rights Act of 1965 in historical context. The 2 p.m. panel features a lecture on defending voting rights after Shelby County by Ed Yachna, Director of Communications and Public Policy at the Illinois American Civil Liberties Union. In the landmark case Shelby County versus Holder from 2013, the Supreme Court held that Congress needed better evidence of racial discrimination to require 7 southern states, along with Arizona and Alaska, to submit redistricting plans to the Federal Justice Department for pre-clearance. Mr. Yanka will discuss the case and its impact on the current debate over voting rights law. The 3 p.m. panel will feature a debate between the college Republicans and the college Democrats on the issue of voter identification laws. The question for the debate is, should Illinois adopt a voter ID law? The debate is sponsored by Pi Sigma Alpha, the Political Science Honorary Society. The debate will be moderated by the chair and professor of political science, Greg Shaw. And a lot of work has gone into this event, so I highly recommend that you take some time to check it out. It should be interesting. Later in the day, running from 4 to 9 p.m., the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Gospel Festival will be held in the Westbrook Auditorium. This year marks the 25th annual Gospel Festival, founded by the United Community Gospel Singers of Bloomington-Normal and co-sponsored by Illinois Wesleyan University. Admission for students will be free. And finally, also on the same day, from 12:10 p.m. to 1 p.m. in the Davidson Room, Assistant Professors of Mathematics Andrew Shalou and Dan Roberts will discuss the definitions, the similarities and differences of formal reasoning and quantitative reasoning. This event is part of IWU's continuing non-org programs centered around faculty members presenting their research on topics of their choosing.
On Tuesday, January the 20th, running from 4 to 6 p.m. in room 122 of State Farm Hall, the IWU Safe Zone Workshop will be taking place. The IWU Safe Zone program creates an opportunity for IWU community members to reduce homophobia and heterosexism on campus. The workshop explores lesbian, gay, and bisexual identity, culture, gender identity, and the experiences of transgender people. More info on the event can be found in the description below.
And now for some global news. The world stood in shock on Wednesday, January 7th, as 2 extremists entered the offices of Charlie Hebdo, a French satirical magazine in Paris, and killed 12 of its employees. This attack was sparked by anger over the publication of a satirical depiction of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. This led to 3 days of terror as the brothers who launched the attack were hunted down by French authorities. Meanwhile, a 3rd gunman was gunned down a policewoman the following day and then took hostages in a kosher supermarket on Friday. French authorities managed to trap and kill the brothers responsible for the attack in a warehouse on Friday the 8th, along with killing the lone gunman in the supermarket. Unfortunately, not before he could kill 4 hostages. France has stood strong through it all, though, and millions rallied throughout the country against the attack over the weekend. Nearly 1.6 million people, including 40 world leaders, rallied in Paris, while a total of roughly 3.7 million rallied throughout the country. They decried the attacks and vowed to never let freedom of speech be hindered again by violence.
And now on to more domestic news. Over break, Sony was hacked by a group known as the Guardians of Peace. They were disgruntled over the movie The Interview, a comedy in which Seth Rogen and James Franco attempt to assassinate North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The group demanded that the movie never be shown and that any theaters that showed it would face 9/11 style attacks. The movie was postponed but eventually released through streaming. Now, in an interview with Sony CEO Michael Linton, we can see the full extent of the damage. Much of Sony's electronic infrastructure was destroyed, and they are still far from recovery. President Obama promised a proportional response to North Korea's alleged hacking. The U.S. has not commented, however, on an attack on North Korea's internet service around Christmas Day.
Good. Thank you, Steve. And that is all the time we have for this week's episode of Titan TV News. I'm Gina Blaskie.
And I'm Steve Santucci.
Go get 'em, Titans.